Hi, I'm Hazel. It's Saturday today, which makes it time for us to catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I've been up to, and answer some of your questions. This week in the Shadowlands Alpha, we got some changes to Torghast, and the two big takeaway from this week's build is, one, there will be no more timers in Torghast. So they've taken some feedback, and while there will still be torments, and the idea is still to make sure the levels are getting harder as you continue to go up the tower, they will no longer scale with time. So there's no longer a time pressure concern. You should not feel like you're rushed. And you should, again, now be able to go, you know what, guys, let's just reconvene in 10. I just really got to take out my dog. The other Torghast thing that we found out was a little bit more about the entrance structure. So they have clarified that the twisting corridors will be a cosmetic-only Torghast version. I phrased that poorly. It's a combat mode, but there will be basically an endless version of Torghast that you can enter as much as you want, where you can grind out twisting dust to buy Torghast-specific cosmetics. And that contrasts to the standard Torghast model, where you'll be going in to get your legendary components a limited number of times per week. I'm pretty happy with this. I think this is an important distinction to make so that Torghast doesn't feel forced on you. You will still need to do some amount of it in order to progress your character and get your legendaries, but if you don't like it, you can just kind of get in, get your weekly stuff done, and then move on with your day. Whereas if you really enjoy Torghast and you want to continue replaying it, you can still play as much as you want for fun and progress towards cosmetic rewards and not have to worry about that weekly lockout that is necessary so that people don't have to do 70 runs in 1 week to get their legendaries. Best of both worlds. Also this week on Alpha, the zone of Ardenweald was unlocked, and I did a bit of questing on stream. I especially enjoyed the character of Chufa, not just because Chufa is a squirrel, but because Chufa is a sassy squirrel. And the thing that struck me the most and has stuck with me the most is just the skybox of Ardenweald is exquisite. It's so pretty. In news and updates this week, Blizzard has officially postponed their previously planned June 9th Shadowlands livestream. They have not yet, at least as of recording this video, published a new date for the live stream, and it is implied to be in light of the Black Lives Matter protests happening in America and the conversation surrounding that. While we're on that topic, I have a few thoughts of my own that I would like to share on the matter because that is what I've been up to this week, has been consuming media and reading and thinking about it. Everyone has a right to be safe, and that is a right that is not and has never been enjoyed equally by people in this country and in many other countries also. It is easy for those of us not directly affected by this to kind of bury our heads in the sand and say, well, I didn't do it, it's not my responsibility, this doesn't involve me, my voice won't matter, so there's no reason for me to bother. I've seen a lot of this online recently, especially in regards to gaming, and just because those things are easy to say does not make them true. To tie this back to gaming a little bit, one of the things that I love most about WoW is that you create your character and there's this implicit promise that you're going to get to live and grow and work towards your goals without being propped up or held down by whoever you are outside of the game. At least on its surface, it's a fair playing field, and that is a situation that we should not have to play video games in order to get to. Change clearly needs to happen, and I have to believe that change can happen. I believe it needs to happen at a system-wide level so that your safety and justice does not depend on whether or not somebody got a cell phone video. I really wish all of that was a given and that we didn't have to have these conversations, but that's not the world that we live in, and it would be naive to just pretend that it was. The obvious question that is raised is, what do we do? Change sounds like a pretty vague and hand-waving word, and I am a YouTuber, not an expert. So luckily, there are experts, and there are long-standing organizations that have outlined specific research-backed policies aimed at increasing police accountability, body cams, training, and other things to keep everybody safe. We can all educate ourselves on what change actually looks like, who your local representatives are, where they stand on those issues, and what you can actually do. That can mean donating money, it can mean donating time, it can mean voting, not only in the big, flashy, high-stakes elections, but also in the local ones. There are some excellent resources that have gone out of their way to make it really simple to do just that. I do think that escapism has its role, and we can all benefit from tuning out now and then to recharge. I do plan to continue streaming and making videos and doing my very best to make sure that my community, my little corner, stays a safe and accepting place for everyone. There's really no way to tie this segment off with like a cute, hopeful little bow, so just, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. We do have a couple of WoW questions from last week. JB wants to know, I have never seriously pursued a crafting profession, sticking almost exclusively to gathering. Based on what you know so far, would it make more sense to invest in tailoring the Shadowlands with the new crafting system updates and having to craft your legendaries from Torghast? I say tailoring because I play cloth wearing caster classes. So I do not think that's going to be necessary. It is true that in Shadowlands you will need a component from an armor crafting profession in order to make your legendaries. However, those components are BOE, so you're going to be able to trade them and buy them on the auction house. Given that that's something that you will not need to do that many times, I think it is probably a waste to take the profession just to make those things. You are almost certainly going to be better off sticking with whatever you're comfortable making gold with, and then making the gold to buy the thing the one time or two times, and then carrying on with your life. I imagine due to how important legendaries are that there will be enough people crafting those components to drive the prices down pretty close to cost. And Lucas asks, what does Blizzard plan on doing with level-specific gear like the legendary boots I use in all of my farming tunes? So I'm not familiar with the specific boots, I'm not super up on farming sets, but I will say that Legion Legendaries will require level 40 to equip, and they do now have a legacy item tag, like artifact weapons, that disables the special effect. So it does look like Legion Legendaries will be a bit toast in Shadowlands. Other legendary items from other expansions are being squished but show no signs of having their special effects removed. And that has been the week. I have some relevant links down in the description. If you have any questions that you would like answered in next week's WoW News, please leave them in the comments, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.